This is going to be a quick video on how to set up SeedStar2 on a planter using a 2600-2630 display. If you do not have a planter set up on your home page, you can always go to Menu in the lower right corner and go to our Planter tab, and it'll take you right to our planter page. From there, in the upper right corner, that first tab is going to be purely a monitoring feature of the planter, so we can monitor all functions from here. Starting at the top of the screen, we see our target population per acre, which is 140,000 seeds. If I have target populations already entered in there, several rates predetermined, I can hit this icon to the right of it with the target and the acres symbol there, and it'll show me my 3 rates that I have pre-populated in there. So if I wanted to change the rate to, I just tap rate 2 and it shows it at the top of my screen. Just below that, it has a scanning feature, which you can scan it'll scan every row in sequence and how many seeds per acre each one is doing. Then it'll tell me which one's planting my minimum and maximum amount of seed. And then if I had a row in particular that I wanted to monitor that I was probably having issues with, I could then type in my row number that I would like to monitor, say row 9, and it'll just constantly watch row 9. Just to the right of that, you see 2 arrows going in a circle. That will be, if you press that, that will show us our seed monitoring graph across all rows of the planter. The center line's our target line. If the bars are above that line, they're your overpopulation at that point, and below it, you're planting under the population. And it'll look somewhat similar to this. Very rarely will they all consistently be above or below the line there. If I had a variable rate drive planter, you see a quick start reset and a little meter gear right there. If I were to touch the meter gear, I can actually turn my meters a half a turn each time I press it. So if I press this little meter button in the lower right corner, I turn my variable rate drives. If I have a ground driven unit, the only way to do that is just manually go back there and either rotate my tires with the vacuum running or just back up and double plant my area. Just below my graph here, you can see I have these green bars, and that is showing my planter sections. So if I have a variable rate drive planter, I have 3 sections here that I can control independently, manually, or if I had swath control, it would shut off automatically. Just below that, I have my actual amount of seeds per acre. It's showing 0 here since we're sitting still. But if I had a variable rate drive planter, once again, I could see each one can actually plant a population independently, and I could watch and see which each one of those are doing individually. Just below that, I have my vacuum meter. It's showing how much my vacuum motors, how many inches of pressure they're putting out. If I had, say, a 1790 planter, this would be the first 0.0 would be on my left side of the planter. The second one would be the right side of my planter. But on a 1720, that may be that one is actually the center frame, and the other one is for my 2 wing frames. So you want to check out your vacuum meters to ensure which vacuum meters are controlling which part of your planter frame. Below that is going to be purely a monitoring portion of the equipment, how many acres per hour you're doing. You can change any of these white boxes to whatever you would like. So if I want to see how many acres per hour I'm covering, I can put that information there. Just above that is going to be on our ground speed. We want to set up our crop. You would go to the 3rd tab down on our right side, which is tab H, and it's got the little seed with the arrow pointing to it. And I would select the crop that I would like to use, and I'd like to use corn on this particular instance. I put my disc type, what type plate I'm using, and if my sensors were off and I wasn't hitting my target population on my display, but I was actually planting the correct amount of seeds, I could adjust using this population adjust right here to help calibrate those sensors, and you do that on percentage. So if you're 10% under on your display what you're actually planting, you could put 1.10 right there, and that'll calibrate those sensors, show that it'll pull it up to your target rate at that point. You have a checkbox here for use 1 rate across all motors. If you're using variable rate drives, you could uncheck that and then actually plant 3 different rates, or however many variable rate drive motors you have, you could plant individual rate for each one. But we want to go into show rates. We already have 2 rates already inputted in here, but I want to create a 3rd rate. So I go to change rates, go to my rate 3. I'd like to turn that one on. I would put in my target population, which I'll put 40,000 seeds. I'll accept it. And then it's going to create a high population alarm as well as a low population alarm, and that is basically 10% above and below my target rate. From there, I just hit accept, and then go hit accept again. And I can go back out to my main planter screen and monitor my planter functions. So that is a quick video on planter operations and seed population setup on a SeedStar2 planter using a 2600-2630 display.